So by the title of this video, you guys probably think I'm a lunatic and need to be checked out, which might be true. There's probably a percentage of you guys that already know what I'm talking about, and if that's true, please drop a like. This will be a treat for you guys. But with that being said, in this video, I'm claiming that Oda took inspiration from Jesus and made Luffy. I'm going to back up my claims with evidence, and hopefully by the end of this video, you guys can understand why I believe what I believe. So with that being said, let's get into this video. So the first thing we have to talk about is Luffy's character. Luffy is one of the most popular main characters ever, with him consistently topping every character poll since 1999. But why is Luffy so liked? A lot of people would say that Luffy is a simple-minded, kind-hearted adventurer that wants absolute freedom, which is true, but we must think deeper than this. The questions we really need to ask is, why does Luffy free others, or why does Luffy want to be free? And I think I found the answer to this question, and it's pretty simple. Everything Luffy does in the show is honestly out of love. If you guys still think that this is not the answer, let me give you some examples. Let's take a look at his crewmates. He saved Zoro from Marines when he could have just moved on, saving Nami and her village from Arlong's oppression. He let a complete weakling and liar on his ship, or the time he saved a traitor from the clutches of the government. He even let a corpse on his ship. Luffy is pure love. If you just take a minute to look at his crew, it's filled with different people with different backgrounds, all living in harmony. And with his friends, he's able to free others. If we went through every country that Luffy saved and every person that he benefited, we would be here all day. So with that being said, now let's see Jesus' key characteristics and match them up with Luffy's. So Jesus' key characteristics are love, compassion, forgiveness, truthfulness, and faithfulness. He also expresses qualities like joy, peace, kindness, and goodness. Now let's see if Luffy keeps up with these characteristics. So the first quality we have is love. Love is wanting to do things for others without nothing in return. Luffy, like I said before, saves multiple people's lives that he did not need to. The only answer for this is love. He doesn't need a reason to save or make other people's lives better. He just does it. Next we have forgiveness. Luffy doesn't really hold any grudges against anybody. We see multiple people betray Luffy time and time, and he always forgives them. The first notable person we see betray Luffy is Nami. She took his boat and left him for dead, and he still fought to the death for her. He also does this with Usopp and Robin. So with that being said, forgiveness is definitely in Luffy's character. Next we have truthfulness. Luffy is an obviously truthful guy, so I don't think I have to give any examples. Luffy simply never lies. Next we have faithfulness. Luffy believes in himself that he will become the king of the pirates and never stops moving forward. He also believes in his friends. So with that being said, now I'm going to prove that One Piece references and take inspiration from Christianity. And there's no one better to prove this than Bartholomew Kuma. Did you know that Jesus had a disciple named Bartholomew? I think Oda did this intentionally. We even see Kuma with a Bible in his hand. But for those who still don't believe me, here's more. Kuma's family was religious, and Kuma's father was a pastor of a church. And look on top of the church. The cross is all throughout One Piece. We see characters like Mihawk wearing a cross. We also see crosses on top of tombstones, which is symbolic to the death of Jesus Christ. Another thing I find interesting is that Kuma and his dad worship the sun god Nika, and that is most likely the god of the Bible Kuma is holding. We also see Kuma become a pastor. We see Kuma healing the people of the village from their pain and suffering, kind of like what Jesus did in the Bible. I think Oda cleverly reversed this to deviate from the Bible. We see when Kuma has to take the pain away from the villagers, he also has to release it, and he releases it onto himself. So this can also be seen as another reference for Jesus dying for our sins. Now we're going to go into clear references that Jesus and Luffy have to one another. So the first thing I'm going to explain is I think that Nika is Jesus and most likely the person in the Bible that Kuma is holding. I think Joy Boy and Luffy are the second coming of Nika. So I'm going to refer to these three people as the same people when I'm referencing them to Jesus. So now let's get into the Jesus and Luffy comparison. So the way Luffy turned into Gear 5 was similar to Jesus' resurrection in the Bible. It was said that Jesus died on a Friday and rose 3 days later on a Sunday. But in Luffy's case, he died to Kaido and then was resurrected by his devil fruit, which awakened when he died. He then turned into the sun god Nika. Sunday to Christians is a very important day. To them, that's the resurrection and the remembrance of Jesus Christ. A lot of early religions in our world worshipped or idolized the sun, so I think Oda took this and the resurrection of Jesus Christ to tell an even bigger story. One more thing to note, Jesus is the son of God and Luffy is the sun god, so you can't say I'm reaching, but I kinda see it. Now let's talk about Luffy's actual Gear 5 transformation. I think it's similar to how Jesus was described to return in the Bible. Jesus is described to have hair white like wool and white like snow with eyes like flames. I think Luffy fits this description pretty well. His hair white like wool, you can't say Luffy hair does look white and look wool like. If you look at a sheep's fur, you can actually see that Luffy hair kind of resembles it. And Jesus is always depicted to be wearing a white outfit, and we see Luffy in an all-white outfit. This signifies Jesus' divine purity, which you can't say that Luffy is a very pure character, so this transformation does kind of fit him. Now let's talk about Nika. Like I said before, Nika is the Jesus of the show. He is the symbol of hope and humanity, bringing laughter everywhere he goes. The people of One Piece are waiting for the sun god to return, just like Christians prophesied Jesus to return. So with that being said, if you like my content, like and subscribe. Let me know if you guys disagree with my take on this video. I didn't mean to offend anyone. If I did, I just wanted to give out my opinion on One Piece. If you guys do like content like this, I am dropping a video called Emu is the Devil of One Piece. So if you guys want to see that video, please like and subscribe. It will be dropping soon. So with that being said, Kuchikage.